Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on Raising Vibrations Radio. I'm your host, Reverend Raven, and tonight we have a very special guest, or guest, may I say. We have Barry Strohm. He's been on here before. He's an author and a channeler, and his lovely wife will be joining us. Her name is Connie, and a psychic named Donna, and they're going to be channeling on a spirit board that they created together, and they're going to be communicating with Moo, who is an alien that has passed over to the other side. So I'm looking forward to introducing you to Barry. Hi, Barry.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. I'm so stoked that you guys are here, and I'm looking forward to talking about several things tonight.
Okay.
So,
we are ready to talk.
Great. Awesome. So recently you sent me a chapter of your new book that you're working on. When's that new book going to be out, by the way?
That's going to probably be a year off. I'm hoping to have it into the publisher by November, December, and it generally takes a year. I have another book coming out in January, and the publisher only likes to bring out one book a year by an author, so I'm guessing it'll be next year's.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. What's the book that'll be coming out in January?
In January, the name of the book is Spirits Speak of Conspiracies and Mysteries. In it, we channel the spirits that actually live the conspiracies, and we tackle about 27 different conspiracies that happen. Very interesting book.
Awesome. I'm so looking forward to that. You are going to come back on and talk about that when it comes out, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's up on Amazon right now for pre-sale. I don't think they'll put it in anybody's hands till about January, but you can go in and see what it's about. They got the cover and everything up.
So in that book, you're going to be talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis, maybe, or the Kennedy getting shot theory.
We actually channeled with President Kennedy for a couple hours, and he told us everything that happened to him, told us who shot him, and we did talk about the missile crisis, yes.
Oh, amazing. So I'm looking forward to that book coming out. But the book that you sent me a chapter to, what is that book going to be titled? Do you know what the title is yet on that one?
No, we haven't titled that yet. Moo and I are working on it together, and it's a very, very detailed book about basically our universe. The chapter I sent you concerned the universality of God, because Moo worships the same God we do. And I know with your line of business, Sarah, I thought you might have a little bit of interest in it. Oh,
my God, did I ever. And I loved what you communicated through Moo. Is Moo the only one communicating at that point, which is probably a group of entities, right, all together?
Yeah. No, there were a couple of other guides involved in the whole chapter, but a lot of the universal stuff came from him.
I got you. So according to Moo, that each universe or each galaxy has their own God.
Correct, yes.
So how in depth did you go into that with him on each galaxy has their own God?
Well, I tried to go into it with him, but every time I would ask him a question, what are the rules? He would say, that's not anything you can understand. It's not an emotion you've ever felt. It's not words you've ever used. And apparently each God has his own rules. And every time I ask him, he says, you're incapable of understanding it. So I guess we know how stupid we are.
Right. But I did understand the concept behind all of the questioning and everything is that, the real main purpose of all of this was just love, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's the teachings of our God is basically love and understanding and, just play nice with everybody else.
Right. And do you think that it changes from galaxy to galaxy, or do they all have that same concept going on?
I think they have a similar concept, but it's something that we just simply can't understand. Every time I've tried to get into it, he's told me, he said, that's not a concept that you understand because you've never heard of it. You've never seen those words. You never had those thoughts. beings on other planets are much different than what we are. They think differently, they communicate differently, and things are just different.
I know that things are different, right? I do get that concept, but unconditional love, that's a pretty easy one. You can't describe what it is. It's a feeling within yourself. And so he's saying that the other gods under the other universes have something similar, but it's more than we could possibly imagine. It's huge.
Yes. This is all a concept that is far beyond the understanding of humans.
Wow, that is incredible. And then also, too, in your question that I was reading in here, or his comment is, this is the continuing of helping people to learn, questioning everything, and if you think it can be true. Can you go a little bit deeper when you were going into that question with him? You asked him what was why he was giving us this information.
Well, there's a one. All souls have a single oneness, and the messages on all the planets are the same. We are one. We're supposed to get along. We're being watched out for by the other super intelligent planets, and hopefully, at some point, humans will generate enough knowledge that they can become self-sufficient and bright enough and get along with everybody so that they can advance to the point where we travel the stars with everybody else. It's kind of it's a very complicated subject, and yet it's a very easy subject. It's based on a oneness, based on the concept that all souls are of God, and that all humans are sons of God. And the free will screws everything up in between there, but in his exact words, he said, "Love. If there's love, there's everything," and that's pretty much sums up. If the other intelligent planets do not fight among themselves,
right?
They're peaceful. They may not totally like each other, but they understand that there is absolutely no advantage into going and trying to kill each other. It just doesn't work. So they're over all that. And I mean, people will come to you and they'll say, well, aliens are evil. And I tell them they're so advanced that if they meant us harm, we'd be damn well harmed. And none of us would be here under that case.
Wow. And two, you also talk about a soul is a soul. And I love that you put that in this chapter of this book. That meant a lot to me. A soul is a soul, a big tree, a dog. Me and you are all one in the end. Souls are the same as me. We can talk about when souls join us later. I love that you went into that concept right in here where they were, when you asked him, is that human souls, are we the same?
Every soul is a soul. Just like when I asked him, was Jesus the Son of God? Yes, Jesus was the Son of God, as are you all. When you try to understand this, the concept that comes back is that even the soul of Jesus is the same as that of a common man. It's just that Jesus was a greater teacher and he advanced in his learning, and he was a son of God like we all are. That can be a little bit hard to understand, but when you look at what's going on around the world, it's hard to believe those people are sons of God. But it is what it is. That's what free will is. That's what learning is. That's how your soul advances. Your soul doesn't have to advance in a lifetime. It can go backwards. You do stupid things, your soul's not going to advance. One time we had a guide tell us that dying does not make you smarter. It just makes you dead and on the other side. And so
I wonder if you had to sit there and watch reruns of stupid mistakes you made. If you let free will, you have free will, and you decide, oh, there's not a God, or there's no such thing as unconditional love. You get over the other side, they chain you to a chair, put toothpicks in your eyelids, and make you sit there and watch all the stupid mistakes you made.
That's pretty much what happens. Yep. I don't know about the toothpick part. you're going to understand how you screwed up, because understanding how you screwed up is how you're going to advance next trip.
Right, right.
But you can take a lifetime and screw up hundreds of other lifetimes of advancement.
And I wonder how many exact souls are on this planet at one time. After reading your thing about souls in that chapter and everything, I remember reading the Bible, and I remember how it talked about there was 144,000 souls. Or is that one of the Bibles or something like that? I can't remember which one. But there's only 144,000 souls going to heaven. Do you ever read that?
That's not quite right.
Okay. So if there's only, but let's say there's only 144,000 souls, right? So that means we're split up. There's so many people on this planet. Does that mean we're just all split up into little sections?
No, it means there's more than 144 souls.
Okay.
One night we were channeling, and I asked the guide, I said, is heaven in the sky? And his answer was, no, heaven is the sky. It's all around you. That's why we have ghosts, and that's why we have spirit presence. They're in heaven. We're just not in the dimension of heaven, but it's all around us. It's not this special place up there. I mean, it's pretty hefty, and there's a lot of souls in it. And keep in mind, if the souls decided not to come back, it doesn't have to hang around. It can leave our heaven and travel, go to other places. Heaven is basically for those that are planning on coming back at some time or are working on advancing their souls. If your soul is happy with where it is when you get over there, you can stay. Nobody's making you come back.
Right.
The free will's on the other side as well as this side.
Right. But if you want to be able to travel beyond this universe or this galaxy, then you need to have at some level, right?
Yeah, you can't be on the bottom. Being on the bottom level does not work out real well for if you have any plans. So.
And you know what I find interesting too is Mu, or one of the guides, said something about the other gods in the other universe and galaxies, and how they have like a system, like maybe there's 3 above one, and it goes on to the next level and the next level.
Yeah, it's a tough concept, but apparently there's always somebody over top of you. Even God has people that are over top of him. There's other gods that have a higher ranking, that have been around longer, done more. Keep in mind, your soul's been around for billions of years. It's been around before this planet was formed. The history of your soul doesn't just mean it's been on Earth.
See, and that is mind-blowing to me. Just sit down and think about that, right? We get the concept. Me as a human being, you as a human being, we're sitting here, we're talking right now, and we're talking about, the soul creations and stuff like that. And you're telling me long before this planet, my soul was around.
Correct.
Mind-blowing.
Your soul energy was around. It's been around, I don't even know. It's been billions of years. Just like you've had thousands and thousands of lifetimes, not just on this planet. I mean, before Earth, you reincarnated on other planets.
Wow. That chapter right there is going to blow a lot of people's mind out of the water.
That's going to have a lot of people telling me I'm crazy. Yep.
Yeah, I know. But you know what though? I was reading it yesterday. First of all, your writing is just like it kept me captivated the whole time. I didn't want to stop reading. In fact, I got to the end and I'm like, where's the rest of it? Right? So I want to tell you it was beautiful reading that, and I want to thank you that you allowed me to read that. But I'm amazed how I resonated with it and what it's going to be like for other people who read it, and I know they're going to pish-posh it already off the top of the bat.
Oh, I'd be hurt if they didn't, I'd be disappointed. One time we were channeling with Mu, and he said, there are going to be people out there that are going to look at you, as a prophet, and the rest of them are going to look at you as a nut job. So there's going to be nothing in between. I mean, people are either going to say, whoa, that's a pretty good idea, or they're going to say, what a creeping butt this guy is,
Well, I don't feel that way at all. I think you're totally amazing, and I love Moo. I love his energy, the way he describes things. I can feel it. It's really amazing.
Well, he's probably visited you. He doesn't just hang out with us. He goes a lot of different places, and he has such an incredible understanding. He can be in two different places at once. I'll tell you a quick story about him. We were doing our channeling where we were designing the board, because we actually let the spirits design the configuration of the board that we use. We were out in Salt Lake City, and he was saying, now, I would like you to be able, but we have a glass top on our boards, which makes it a bit unusual from what other people do. And he said, I would like you to be able to remove the glass from the foam core, which holds the design, because we want each individual that would buy a board to be able to design it. Well, I had no idea how to do this. I'm sitting there and I get a dumb look on my face trying to figure out how this is going to place. And he says to me, don't look at me like that. Meaning that he's actually sitting there watching my expressions while we're doing this channeling session.
Right.
If you think that those spirits aren't present with you, you better think again.
So I have a question for Donna and Connie. I know they're there and everything. So what kind of feeling do you get when you hear some of the answers to the questions that you ask?
Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I say, darn, I should have thought of that myself.
Yeah, Donna's very perceptive in this. She always has thoughts. She comes at things from a different angle because she's got far better mental abilities than I have. And I let her answer some of that, too.
Okay, Donna, so let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're crazy from some of the answers that you get?
No. Honestly, crazy is not the word. I just always, I have to read it back, because when we're hearing the answer, when we're channeling, I'm really not even aware much of what's being said, because you're sort of, I always say I'm plugged into that side and less to our conscious side here. So when you read them back, so Barry always sends me then a script of our session, maybe the next day or so, and I read it back, and I'm just sort of in awe, really, of some of the answers. Never do I think it's crazy. I just go, wow. It's just sometimes it's too profound. Sometimes it's very, very simply profound, but it's too profound to be just to have been made up. You know what I mean? It's just, you just go, wow, I couldn't have thought of that answer. So it's really, I never think it's crazy. I think it's really fascinating and very enlightening.
So when you guys are doing the board, tell me about what goes through your body. What are you feeling? For some of us that don't channel with a board or have our hands physically, you're obviously have your hand physically on something, right?
Yeah, what we do is I actually use hot poured quartz for the glass, and it looks like a shot glass. And that hot poured quartz, we have a glass surface on the board, and we put lubricating oil on it. So this glass moves extremely easy, so that the spirits don't have problems moving it. If you take a regular Ouija board, the planchette is hard to move. It's basically on paper, and there's a lot of friction to it. What we do is almost frictionless, so we have a lot of luck that the spirits can come through and get the messages right with us. When we're doing it, she'll put a finger on the glass, and I'll put a finger on the glass.
Right.
And we will actually feel energy. You can feel the energy build, and then all of a sudden the glass will start to move. And people would be utterly amazed at how fast the darn thing moves around. If they go onto my website, spiritspredict.com, it's spiritspredict.com, I have an entire page dedicated to board channeling. And you can go on there and you can actually see live channeling sessions. and you will be amazed at how fast that glass moves as it spells out every word. And also, for those people that are all worried we're going to get in trouble, the guides have specifically designed a prayer for us that we use, and we say this before every session. And here, I'll read the prayer for you.
Okay.
I might have done it before, but it's our, God, please grant us your wisdom and protection. Grant us the knowledge that we can handle and keep us safe from all things that will harm us. Keep the messages positive and pure love. Keep us safe from our own ego. We ask these things in the light of the seen, the unseen, and the honesty of God. We have a copy of that fastened to the back of the board, and we say that prayer together before every session. And after well over 400 hours of board channeling, the guides have protected us, and everything has gone pretty well for us.
That is awesome. So you guys don't, you don't have any lingering spirits hanging on with you and turning up your car radio while you're going down the road?
Well, we have lingering spirits. I mean, our place here is so haunted, they linger all the time.
Right.
and I mean, sometimes you go to bed and it's hard to fall asleep because you still have this presence. But it's not like this attachment thing. I mean, once you really get into this, they're with you a lot of the time of your day. There's times that you really don't know whether you're thinking about it or whether the spirits are putting it into your head.
All right, so I'm going to tell everybody that you guys all agreed to come on here tonight and use the channel board and go there and allow the audience to ask questions, right?
Okay.
Okay.
We don't want to try any specific questions because
okay.
we have to have contact with the individual. But
okay.
if you throw some questions at us, we'll try to answer some of them.
Okay, so like we can ask questions, like general questions about what's going on with the selection, or no, we can't do that.
I have tried so many times. I've asked the question, I've tried to trick them, and I've gotten lectures over it. They basically told me to stop because it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sandy, I just want to say too, I think that I have learned, and the way I explained it to people is that it is, I just use the analogy of a telephone. It is really not as simple as just, a telephone conversation to a ghost.
Okay.
It's really more, we're just picking up energetically what is meant to be received. So it's, it's a matter of interpretation too. I think some people get very, very literal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's meant to be very literal. It's not as simple as a conversation over the telephone. It doesn't work that simply, I don't think.
Okay. Now, do you guys have to hear their voice?
No. Sometimes we don't. I never know. These guys, the guides are capable of utterly amazing things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Every time we get a guest in, we tell them there is absolutely no guarantee. I can show you hundreds upon hundreds of hours where it worked, but on this particular question, it may simply not work. They don't want to answer it. They ain't going to answer it, no matter how you re-ask it or rephrase it.
Some things you're really just not meant to know. We are not meant to know everything. There's too many probabilities in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about, like, if they go a general thing, says, I'd like to know what they have for me. Can they just ask that kind of question?
No. Probably for you, because we're in contact, you could ask the question for yourself personally, but it stretches it out too far. We have to have contact with the soul we're working with.
I got you. So, So the kind of questions then, because I'm trying to get a general census here as what type of questions asked. Like, I know that you guys have a soul connection because one of your sessions recently you talked, actually it was a little bit further back, about the cat, right?
Oh, yeah.
About the cat being reincarnated.
Yes, that has definitely taken place. We channeled him for over a year, and he told us when he was coming, and he showed up within 1 week of when he said 13 months earlier. And it was just exactly as he had described himself when he showed up.
And so after the cat reappeared, you did another channeling session just to confirm that was the cat.
Yeah.
Bodhi.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that was Bodhi, and it is, yes. And
Bodhi brought along another soul along with him this time.
That is correct. That is correct. We couldn't figure. We went down and tried. Well, it's a long story. Donna was going down. Well, I'm going to let.
Yeah,
I'll let Donna do her part.
This story because I just love this story. I think it's just really fun. I actually have not been speaking to Bodhi. You know, occasionally he would come up in one of our sessions, but Bodhi has told Barry and Connie lots of things that I was completely unaware of. And I was recently visiting a cemetery just to tend to my dad's grave, and I went to the front office to ask a question, and the woman nice lady that works in the front office said, you know, I'm talking to her, and she said, hey, we've got some kittens out here. Are you interested in a cat? And I said, well, no, because I have 2 cats and a dog, but, you know, I'd like to see them. So we went out, and there's a deck outside of the building, but we couldn't coax them out except for one little itty-bitty kitten sticks his head out, a little black cat, and he just quickly goes back under the deck, and we couldn't see any more that day. So I just, you know, thought, all right, well, that's good. So then I'm doing a session with Barry later in the week, and Barry just was checking in, I think, right, with Bodhi, just saying, you know, is Bodhi still planning on coming? And we got an answer. I don't even remember the dialogue. And then something came through on the board that said it will be a parent. And in that instant, the image of this little black cat, Bodhi, from no less the cemetery, comes to mind. And I said, Barry, I think I know where Bodhi is. And it just became very clear in that moment. They said it will be a parent, and I'm telling you, it was instantly apparent. Bodhi's little face, or this cat's face, came to mind, and I said, I think Bodhi. Well, I didn't know he predicted a date, and said how he was coming, and he said he would come, I think, through the store, right? He would make himself.
Said he would find us at the store.
He would find us at the store. Well, we were at the store doing the session when Bodhi, the image of him appeared, but it was just a really interesting process. How then. He, like I said, came through from the cemetery, and they went down. Connie and Barry went down twice. First time they couldn't coax him out either, so they went home. I don't know. Did you guys channel a second time?
No. I started getting this mental message, and Connie started getting it as well, that he wanted company, that he wasn't going to come by himself. We tried for almost 2 hours to tempt him out from under that porch with food and everything else. And he came out, and he sat, and he looked right at Connie, like saying, hi, Mom, I'm back, and I recognize you, but I ain't going nowhere tonight. And he went back under that porch, and he was not coming out. So Connie was starting to get the idea in her head that he wanted company. So we decided, well, we'll take one of the sisters along, what we thought was a sister along, and we'll take 2 of them. So then we go down. A couple days later, we go back down to the shop, or to the cemetery,
mm-hmm.
and the little black guy comes right out. This beautiful little orange cat comes out with him, and the women that were handing for him picks him up and cuddles him a little bit, hands him over to us, and we put him in the carrier, and up the road we go. Absolutely no problems. When we couldn't get him out of there with a crowbar a couple days earlier.
Mm-hmm. In a litter of 4, 3 are orange, one's a little white with orange. Bodhi is the only black. I mean, he looks completely like he doesn't belong to this litter. It's just the oddest thing. And he's the little guy that stuck his head out that day. I didn't even know there were 3 little orange babies also under there with him.
Aww.
And so you could say it's very coincidental, and it very well could be coincidental. It's just a really great story in that he had predicted all along he would show up about this time. I didn't know that when, I saw him at the cemetery. I didn't know his timing. And then he was the only little black baby in that litter of 4, and he presents himself in a cemetery. I just thought it was just so funny.
Right?
To these people. And if you knew Bodie, if you knew he was very Garfield-like, he's very interesting cat, and it would just be like him to just show up in a cemetery, not just show up in a cute little basket at the front door of their store, but make it really interesting.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. Life begins where death ends.
Yeah.
He shows up as a black, and he said I will be a black cat. I will show up. 13 months ago, he said I will be there in 13 months. And he showed up within 1 week of his predicted date.
Wow.
And so anyway, we bring him. The little orange went up, and I'm starting to get a suspicion about this little orange cat. So we do a channeling session a couple of days after we got him up here, and I asked the question. I said, has the orange cat had any relationship to our family? And I got to back up 1 second because Donna has something that plays a part in this again, because I tell her what's going on, and she says to me, I know the name of your cat. I hear it in my head.
Well, yeah, I was actually in an airport out of the city, and Barry was telling me that they brought home. I said, did you go get Bodie? Did you go get the little black cat? And he goes, yeah, and we brought home an orange one too. And I was like, oh, so you have 2, and I was just happy that 2 of them had a little home. And then our conversation ended, and then later I texted him. I said, well, I know the name of your little cat, your new cat, and they were telling me Ginger. I was hearing Ginger, and the way I heard it was they said meet Ginger. They didn't say name her Ginger. They didn't say she is Ginger in another life. They just said meet Ginger, and that's how I heard it. So that's what I told Barry. And then they told me.
And then when she says Ginger, I said, man, that is really weird, because our oldest daughter had a dog by the name of Ginger that passed about 20 years ago.
Wow.
So now we got to get back on the channeling board and figure all this one out. So I started off by saying, has this animal ever been part of our family before? Yes. What was its name in that lifetime? Ginger.
Wow.
Is this a soul? Is Ginger's soul, has it come back as a cat? Yes. And it threw me off because I didn't realize at the time that a dog could come back as a cat. So I said I thought that, a dog had to stay a dog and couldn't come back as a cat. And the guy's exact words were, nope. So anyway, it appears as though we somehow or other, while those 2 souls of animals were on the other side, they set this up, and they come back together and arrange this whole plan that the 2 of them show up, and we pick them up, and they're back in our family.
That is wild.
It's beyond wild. The guides say
that
you actually have a soul family of animals the same as you have a soul family.
Wow.
And that these animals will repeat and come back to you. And Connie's caring for them, and she can tell you a little bit about how they're carrying on over there.
How are they doing, Connie?
I'm sure they think they're doing great. Me, I'm scratching my head a bit. They have taken over. We didn't want them on carpeting at first, so we put 2 of the larger size suitcases to block them out of the living room so they'd stay off the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted almost 24 hours before they could jump up on top of them and come on over into the dining room. The living room. And they've turned my sofa into a jungle gym. Having a wonderful time with that. So they've adjusted quite well. And another thing about them that cracks me up is they'll run off where I can't get at them too easily. But 3 times a day, when it's time for them to eat, they will come and sit and stare at me, and then they'll walk over and sit in front of their dishes, and then they'll sit and stare at me. like, okay, chef, it's time to get busy because it's time to eat. They are very smart and very funny.
Aw. You guys should make videotapes of them and post it on the website.
Yes, we can send you some.
Yes.
Yes, they are the cutest little things. I'll give them credit. And Bodhi is showing a lot of the characteristics that he showed in his prior life. I mean, he'll look at you and he'll say, you can tell. Bodhi's back. I mean, that's, I put the story of him up on our website, spiritspredict.com, and that's the title of the page, is Bodhi is back. And there's no question about it. And he even brought another soulmate along with him. And they are absolutely inseparable.
Aw.
I mean,
cute.
You cannot see, if you take one away from the other, they'll start crying. I mean, they are totally...
They're very bound together. There's no doubt. Yeah.
Almost like their soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. Okay, so I'm going to bring another person on with us. Her name is Jenny, and I want you guys to connect with her. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, how you doing, Sandy?
Good. Good. Say hi to Barry, Connie, and Donna.
Hi, guys. I'm enjoying listening.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, you too. I just have to tell you, I was kind of mind-boggled. I guess that's the word of the day, mind-boggled. But you guys were talking about the orange cat, and throughout my entire life, an orange cat has been like my spirit guide, my helper. Every time I see... Oh, go
actually,
ahead.
Animals can be your guides. They absolutely can be.
Cool. Oh, my God. So that was a weird coincidence. Yeah.
That's no coincidence. That's one of your guides. That's like service animals are actually guides in many cases. So
wow.
no, there's no question about it. Your guides can take the form of animals and to help lead you in life.
So, Jenny, is this a new cat for you?
No. This is a spirit. This cat I don't have physically. It seems to show up whenever something's going to happen. It's just, I've always referred to it as a guide, because anytime I see an orange cat, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I'll give you a quick story. I had this cat for many years, and she was missing for 2 weeks. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's gone forever. Well, anyway, this orange cat showed up, and behind the orange cat was my cat. And I never saw him again, this orange cat. Like, it brought my cat home, if that makes sense.
Did.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they act. I mean, once understanding how things take place around us, the miracles that go on around us that we have no clue is taking place, the preordination of events, just like how they brought these 2 kittens to us. I mean, stop and think of the complicity of what it takes to set this whole thing up. I mean, they're doing this. Here's 2 little animals, they're saying. I'm sure the other guides helped them, because in our channeling sessions, the guides told us that they did talk. The guides talk back and forth with the animals on the other side. But it's mind-boggling. I mean, most people are probably sitting at home saying these 3 clowns on the other end are crazy. But honest to God, it all happens. I mean, we're not.
And you have to read some of the Bodhi transcripts from earlier sessions. I don't know. Like my husband said, well, why didn't they just go to the pet store and pick out another black cat? And I said, it just wasn't. It wasn't meant to be that way. He told us very precisely how he was going to re-enter, and he pretty much did exactly that. Exactly that. I mean, they could have gone to the pet store. They could have probably gone and found a black cat anywhere, but they were waiting for Bodhi to find them, and that's what he did.
Amazing.
No, it's a miracle, and it happens every day. I mean, if you believe in miracles, and if you believe that you're being led, and that a lot of things in your life are preordained, and that you have this path that is your karma, and that your soul is trying to strive to follow that path, the more you attempt to follow it, The more you open yourself up, the more the guides will make themselves apparent to you and help you be on that path. No, we all live a miracle. Every soul is a miracle.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I agree with that too. So I wanted you guys to connect to Jenny because we wanted to see, we want to do a sample of the channeling session with you guys. So if you guys are opened up to doing it, I'd like to do live right now. All
right, we'll take a shot at it.
Okay.
Okay, what is the first question? What is the first question you'd like to ask us?
Oh, I just wanted to leave it open. I want to be completely open-minded if that's okay. Just anything, or do you need something? I'm easy.
Well, why don't we try this? Why don't we try to see if your guide is present for you? Because generally when we do a session for a guest, we'll try to bring in their personal guide, and then we let them ask questions of that guide.
Awesome.
So we're gonna ask, is it possible that her guide is present for us tonight?
Okay, before you guys get started, can I ask her guide questions too?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
Great. You
Thank
me,
you,
Jenny?
Sandy. I trust you.
Okay.
All right, can we please have a guide come in for us, please? Can we please have a guide? A, B, E, L. Okay, your guide's name is Abel. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
You're up.
I'm sorry. Oh. I always do A, B. Okay, never mind. I'm just freaked out.
No, say it.
Yeah, we need validation, as we're saying, because we don't know if we're even on the right track when we hear it.
No, we need confirmation when we do this.
I'm just, the way you guys said the name, when you spelled it out, I do that when I'm like getting ready to speak. I go A, B. I'm just saying that was really very interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, they're going to try to give you confirmation like that. So ask a question that only you would know the answer to.
Oh. How?
You got to ask questions or we can't help you.
Okay. What do I have of my mother's? Nobody knows that one.
Well, we'll see. You know what she has of her mother's? F L O W E R. A flower.
Yes.
C E N D A N T. Flower pendant?
I do have a pendant. There is a flower in it. It's not. Oh my gosh! I have a pendant for sure.
It's not. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like we're talking on the phone. We have to. If there's a flower and there's a pendant and they're connected, that's all we need to know. We just need to know that makes sense to you.
I'm so. Oh, this is great. Okay. Yes.
But did you think this wasn't real?
Well, of course I did, but that's like very solid, very solid. So.
Yes,
yeah.
That's why they're giving you the information. They want everybody out there to know that what we do in speaking to the spirits is absolutely real and undeniable. We make mistakes at times, but the basic messages that we get are generally very real. No.
And I would just like to add that I think that we are all capable of, honestly, I think we're all capable of talking or feeling or communicating, whatever word you want to use, with spirit. I just think for me, the board and probably for Barry or anybody that uses whatever modality they choose, the board helps me just to connect and hear. It helps me stay plugged in to what I'm trying to hear from them. Does that make sense? I mean, the board's not magical. We're not magical. So I want to encourage you to just find ways that allow you to open up more, psychically, spiritually, so you can just be more plugged in yourself.
You have another question you'd like to ask, because this is definitely your guide here with you.
Sandy, do you have something?
I do. I have a question for Abel, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Jenny is the creator of this site that we use to broadcast. She created IntuiTalks, which powers me to be able to work for my website. And I feel from my own personal connection with her and this whole thing, because she's all about spreading the love and joy, and she has this beautiful gift of creating such a magnitude of site. Is it going to be as big as I think it's going to be? That's my question.
Okay, let's see what the guide thinks.
But what is the question?
She wants to know if the site is going to be will the site be successful? IFTHATISW or YOURINTION. Right. Okay, Connie's going to do that. I lost track of it.
Okay. If that is your intention.
That's your answer. If that is your intention, it will be.
Well, it is my intention for. I don't know if it's her intention.
Well, that's an interesting answer, because, for me, I've always been with the site. I just go with my heart. I'm not looking for anything in particular. So that was the right answer from my standpoint. That's cool.
Very good.
Very good. We're on a roll. Got any more?
That is awesome. So Abel, I'm going to ask another question. I'm just talking to. Is Jenny going to be doing more radio programs for herself, because she has a beautiful gift too as well?
Doing more shows for herself.
Sandy's embarrassing me in a nice way.
ITISPLE.
It is possible.
It is possible. Okay.
I feel like Jenny, with you, as I'm getting these answers, I feel like it isn't just it's not as simple as yes or no. It really has a lot to do with the reality that you create for yourself, and what you decide, how you decide to create, what intentions you intend. It's really, I don't think it's as simple as yes or no.
Never
That's
is
not how
with me.
Sometimes it is as simple as yes or no, but I don't feel it's as simple in this case as yes and no for you.
And you're right on, though, because it's just for me, it's a matter of time, if I have enough time, and I'm quite shy too. I don't really like to speak publicly, as you might tell. So
hardly nobody's listening tonight.
That isn't true.
I was being a little facetious there.
I know. That's great. Thank you. This is awesome. I really appreciate you guys letting me, join this. This was fantastic.
Do you have any philosophical questions to ask Jenny, to your guide? Do you have something you've always wanted to ask your guide?
And you have multiple guides. I've been feeling multiple since the very beginning. Abel's just one of them. I feel like there's a Sarah that's a guide. You have multiple guides. You don't just have one.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
And I have the feeling, and I also have the feeling they knew you were coming tonight. So why don't you ask a couple more questions?
Okay. Well, can I ask, for the world or something? I do wonder about the suffering of people. I don't understand that part. And I think, Sandy said, do you want to ask something philosophical? That would be it. What would be the answer to some of the what seems to be needless suffering?
Are you asking why the suffering takes place?
Yeah.
You have to be specific with a question. Is that your question?
Okay.
Why is world suffering taking place?
Yes,
all right,
please.
We'll take a shot and see what you want to say. Okay. Why is world suffering taking place? Can you answer that? WIPOUT WORLDSUFFERING. Yeah. I might have had one bad letter in there.
There's more than one bad letter. I think it means that without the suffering, there's no learning. Anytime something negative comes up in our life, the way we need to look at it is that it's a learning experience. I'm away a better person for having dealt with it. I think that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah, that's the message we always get. The suffering is learning. Your soul has to go through periods of suffering. It has to go through pain.
I keep hearing duality. There's duality. Have to have the good and the bad. We have to experience both.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad and evil. It's all part of your learning process. Your soul has to learn every time it comes through. And suffering is part of it. Wait, yes.
Yes, without the suffering, there is no learning.
Okay, that's
basically what your guide says.
Yeah, that's pretty well sums up to what we learned in other sessions.
Excellent.
Wow. Now, earlier, one of our listeners, she chatted in the room, and I was wondering if we could use Jenny's guide to ask this question, because Jenny knows her. So I wonder if we could use Jenny's guide to ask a question for this other person.
Sorry, Abel. Yes, we can.
And it's a very specific question. It's about a ring. She's looking for a ring, and she wants to know if she's going to find her mother's ring.
Who is this?
Her name is her name is Native Earth Lady on here. It's oh my God. Don't tell me. I know her name. Tell me.
We're going to need a little bit of information here because
Kathy is her name.
Kathy, yeah, thank you. I had a brain fart.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think they could do that. They could do that for her. right? It doesn't have to be my guide, right? Like I
Well,
don't want to.
What's her name?
Kathy.
All
Her
right.
name is
Can you
Kathy.
tell me whether Kathy's going to find her ring? Her mother's ring? No. She's not going to find it. Or it means no, you can't tell. But I think what I was reading in my head was no, she's not going to find it.
Okay. Awesome. Jenny, thank you for letting me use your spirit, guys.
It was my pleasure. This was so awesome. Thank you, all of you guys. I mean, I don't mean to put it that way, but Barry and Connie and Donna, yeah?
Yep, Donna.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for trusting us with your message.
That was great. All right, take care now. Talk to you later, Sandy.
Okay, Jenny. Poor Jenny. She does not like to talk on the air. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yet she's really good on air. I mean, she does a couple of monthly shows, and she is, I met her on the radio several years ago, and she does an amazing job and everything, but she does have a shyness going on there. I don't have that shyness. I don't know if you guys could tell.
I picked up on that.
I'll say anything to anybody. It doesn't bother me one bit. So. Not at all. Okay, so it's just this four on here. So I'm on here, and you guys are connected to me. I know that. I can feel the love between all of us.
That's what it's about.
Yes, it is all. It's all love. So my cousin. If I could ask my spirit guides, first of all, I'd like to know one of my spirit guides' names. So if you guys could help me connect to the name of one of them, I would really appreciate that.
Okay. Can we have one of Sandy's guides' names, please? C-E-C-I-L. Cecil.
Well, I live with Cecil.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Well, see, we're just reading you energetically, so let's just ask again. We're just going to ask, because Cecil came through just energetically, probably.
Cecil, are you a guide? Cecil, are you a guide? We're not getting any answer there.
Not getting any
Here we go. P-E-T-E-R.
You were here earlier?
Yeah, Peter's our earlier guide that we had. We were talking earlier.
Peter is a guide. I'm not sure. Is Peter? Are you Peter?
And he
Sandy's guide?
Peter, are you getting one of Sandy's guides now for us? A-S-K. Did ask.
Ask.
Okay. Yes.
Ask questions, I believe.
Ask questions.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my cousin went to hospice today, and I just want to make sure that in hospice that she's no longer going to feel any pain, and that she goes quickly. I don't know if they can answer that question or not, but I mean that's where my energy is wrapped around right now, knowing that it goes quickly for her, with no pain.
Will it go quickly for her, for Sandy's cousin in hospice? N-O-T-A-I-N.
No pain.
No pain.
Great. God, I mean, just bless her heart. I mean, a beautiful soul that she's been, and she's been in my life in the last 4 years, and she helped me with my mother to cross over to the other side. And I just want to see her go with a lot of pain when she's covered all over her whole entire body with cancer, even in the brain and the bones.
Francis. Francis. I think that's the name of your guide now.
Francis.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Francis. And Peter.
Yes.
I'm very grateful. And you guys, don't be sad. In the chat room, don't be sad. We all have to cross over at some point. I just didn't want her to suffer in any type of pain whatsoever. And today I learned right before the show that they were transferring her over to hospice.
Sandy, what all the listeners have to understand is that to us, death is the end, but to the entire spirit world, death is the beginning of another cycle.
Exactly. Just like your cat coming into the funeral, the birth of your cat reincarnated right there in a funeral place in the cemetery.
Oh yeah, there's great symbolism there. Not to mention the fact that they probably are very familiar with seeing ghosts, which in our life they better be.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't
that?
So, for our purposes in life, we're just going to keep on. I mean, we have the choice of free will to keep coming to this planet, right, until we achieve a certain, I don't know what their balance or love.
We're told that there's actually 7 levels over there.
Okay.
And as your soul learns, it advances into those levels, and your soul is attempting to become more like God. As you open yourself up, become more God-like, more patient, more forgiving, more loving, your soul is allowed to advance to different levels. You can make the decision whether you want to stay at that level and not come back. You can act as a guide yourself when you obtain a high enough level and you're capable of it. You can continue to come back until you try to advance. Some people just are very happy with the level they're in. They have a lot of their soul family in that level, and they just want to stay there. And that's the way it'll be. They just simply will not come back. But death is the beginning of that cycle of your free will, whether you wish to reincarnate or not, or whether you're satisfied where you are.
Right. Do Peter or Francis or any of the guys that have come through tonight, do they have a message for our listeners, that they want to share, that they don't, this is their golden opportunity right now to share their message with us?
Okay, let me see. Peter, do you have a message for the folks that are listening in tonight? WEARE FULLYUNDF, or probably an E, R, S, T, H, O, W, T, O, L, O, V, E, rest. Okay, Connie?
We are working towards fully understanding how to love.
Aww.
that's your message.
Oh, I love it. That is my message. We're just here to love each other and help walk each other home.
You can't have it. It's Peter's.
Peter and I must be twins.
Obviously.
I love it. So tell me how you guys feel after you've done a channeling session. You just did one for our listeners here. Tell me what's going through you right now in this very moment.
Well, right now I'm very happy that everything worked. Because you can feel like a real ass when you're sitting here and that ass isn't moving. But no, we the three of us honestly feel, and I'm speaking to the two women, which you should never do. But I think the three of us are pretty well confirmed that we're here to try to help others. That we have through our different techniques, we have the ability to get messages from the other side. Our job, our karma, really, to pass on those messages to the best of our ability. I mean, that's why I write books. That's why Donna does what she does. That's why Connie does what she does. Connie's going to soon start writing books on her own for children. That's part of her karma that they tell her. So it's all learning. As we do these things and we help others, our souls are expanding, our consciousness and our vibrations are increasing, and we're spending more and more time in that fourth and fifth dimension. And that's how this is the key to advancement. And I'm sure we just all strongly feel the same way. I'll let Donna take a shot at it.
Well, I'm still stuck on the question earlier.
What's that?
This is how it works for me. Just what are we working toward? Why are we, I don't know, the discussion before we asked that last question about what are we working toward, I think this last answer is, I think we're born, we choose to live over and over again. We're born into this world working toward what? And your question was, what are we working toward? Do you remember that question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said, what are we working toward?
Yes.
I really felt it in this answer. I felt like it is really just that simple. It's really just to fully understand love and what that really encompasses, and it's minus all of the other garbage, but really just to fully understand how to love unconditionally, how to forgive, how to love. So that's where I'm stuck at with this session. But generally speaking, after any session, I tend to feel a little exhausted. Tonight, not so much, because really this was kind of brief, and we're more distracted with the conversation and so on and so forth. But I don't know. I feel physically, you feel tired after, and then you feel really grateful. You feel really grateful to have had the opportunity to have the insight, whether part of it is interpreted correctly and the rest of it we don't really know, but I'm really grateful and kind of tired after.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, I'm grateful you guys came.
Well, we're here. I mean,
I feel very blessed that you guys come on here. I'm thankful that you share with us, and I can hear spirit walking around you guys while you're talking. In between you talking, I can hear something moving around in the background for some reason.
It's only because we got 200 ghosts in the room.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hear a couple of them walking around. I don't know if the rest of you guys listening can hear it, but every once in a while I hear one of them is playing a drum. You can hear a little bit of a beat drum, like maybe an Indian or something like that. I'm not really sure.
Well, that was me in prior life, probably.
Great.
Gettysburg. Yeah, we're close to getting soldiers with drums here back about 150 years ago.
Oh my gosh! Wow, it is so busy there.
You can't imagine.
I can't. I can hear it though. I'm like, wow, I can hear little bits and pieces of it going on there and stuff like that. So, Connie, how do you feel right now?
I always just feel very honored and grateful that I've been given the opportunity to help people. It just does so much when you see somebody walk in kind of on the sad side and when they leave, they're smiling and feeling better about themselves or their life. I like helping people, and I feel very blessed that God's given me this opportunity.
Aw. Okay, I was wondering, can we ask one more question? I got one that just popped up.
All right.
Okay.
Take a shot.
Okay, this is for Jude, and so we're gonna see what her question is real quick. Jude, if you could just type in your answer, if you want to call in and connect with us, we still have some time here. So let us know what you want to do. I'm waiting to see if she types in something here. La, la, la. We'll see. Waiting. Telephone shy. Okay, that's fine. Just type in your question. Don't cry, because you're loved. You're in a safe place here. Don't cry. Just type in your question.
Hey, while she's typing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, just because I knew I was going to be on this show, I asked the guys the other night how we can individually raise our vibrations. Since
Okay.
You're a big vibration person.
Yes.
It's called doing things that lift, quiet oneself, trusting in all that you are. You must go inward, removing oneself from the distraction of the exterior world. How'd you like that one?
I love that one. I love that one. Okay, so she sent in her question here. She's been she's crying, and she's in a bad place right now. And her question is, why do bad things happen? I try to be nice.
What's her name?
Her name's Jude.
Jude.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we can get an answer. That one's maybe a little rough. Can we get an answer for her? It's obviously a hurting person. Can we get an answer? I'm not feeling any energy with this right now.
But we've been told before that when you go through life and you have a bad experience, you're to use it as a learning experience, an opportunity to raise your inner self.
Yeah, it's very hard for people that are in bad places to understand why they're there.
Yes.
And it's very hard to tell somebody that it's a learning experience. But most people have no clue that before they came into this, they laid out a life plan that took them into experiences that they needed to experience to advance. Quite often that is suffering. Quite often that is grief. You lose people that you just suddenly that you have no idea you're going to lose. And it is really, really difficult to try to tell yourself that this is the plan that I laid out for myself before I came in. In many instances, you laid out who you were going to marry a soulmate, you were going to meet the people in your life you laid out before this, the souls from prior life that were going to come back that you were going to meet. We all have to submit these detailed life plans. They don't necessarily have to be followed. That's what the free will does. But there are a lot of nasty experiences that we all have to learn to live with. My body is not the greatest in the world. I've had 2 back fusions, just had quad bypass surgery, carotid artery surgery, and I got to have another back surgery. So pain is part of is something that I have to learn to live with and accept and understand. It's a really difficult concept. I wish we could have gotten an answer on that question off the board.
Ask her, though, is it June or Jude?
Jude.
Jude, is Francis connected to you?
Jude, they want to know if Frances is connected to you. Do you know if you have a spirit guide named Frances?
No.
Or
I mean, like somebody in her soul group. Like I feel like a grandparent, like somebody older, like a grandparent.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We'll see what she's going to type in here. She says she was having a good day, then bang, but she hasn't answered the question yet.
Well, I just feel like there's a Frances connected to her that's giving her a big giant hug right now, like just hugging her, like trying to comfort her.
She's not sure if she has a Frances connected to her.
Well, then it could be a guide then, the Frances that came through on our board. But I feel like there is a Frances connected to her, and I feel like the Frances is trying to comfort her.
You know, one thing, this might be a good time to point out something. Every word of prayer is heard on the other side. I have had channeling sessions where the guides have come in and have told me my exact words of prayer the night before. There is absolutely no question that it is heard, and when people are hurting, there's really nothing you can do much better to try to advance yourself than to pray that help will come for you. It's not always going to show up. Obviously not all prayers are answered, but at least your guides are understanding what you're asking for and what help you need, and in the long term, they'll probably prevail and help you out.
She writes, helping, I feel better. So thank you guys for helping Jude out.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, that's really what the three of us like to do.
I know, I can feel it. I just want to give you guys all a hug. And I'm looking forward to you guys coming on here lots and lots of time because you guys are amazing. I know you're busy, but whenever you can come and play on here, I want you to, because I love the message that Moo, brings forth. I love you all's energy. You guys are fun. I wish I could party with you or something, Go cow tipping or something. I don't know.
Vodka works, right?
So, Donna, do you have a website for yourself, or how do people get in touch with you?
I am completely unofficial. I mean, I really am. I just do this very, very unofficially, mostly because for me, I really became more enlightened through my work. I touch a lot of people through what I do. I actually am an esthetician. Do you know what that is?
No. Will you please describe?
It's nothing fancy. It's just I have a spa and I do skincare. So I touch a lot of people in my work when I do facials and spa treatments. And I've always had a strong intuitive side, but what I've noticed is as I've been working a lot and touching a lot of individuals, my third eye is opened wide up. And I started practicing Reiki a number of years ago, and currently I'm a Reiki master, but I feel like with my first attunement, it just really, really opened up. And my challenge has been really just trusting it and allowing it and not taking it for granted and letting it be what it'll be. And it's the board was just a really unexpected sort of process. I couldn't trust the board because I've learned to use my intuition in a different way, but I've really learned that the board, like I said earlier, for me just allows me to plug in and stay plugged in because we're so distracted. Like I said, we are all capable of hearing from spirit, but we're so distracted that we don't perceive it or we don't allow it, we don't trust it. And so it's just allowed me to trust. And that's so I don't do it unofficially, but I trust it, because it's gotten to a certain point.
Well, I hope that you start doing it officially, though.
Well, I do it officially unofficial.
Well, once again, a lot of things are preordained in your life. Donna was brought to us, and we started to, actually she came in as a client at first, and we started to understand that she had the abilities, and we just became more and more involved together. And then we actually asked the guides, whether we were in the same soul family. And the guide said, yes, you are all members of the soul family, and the three of you have been together many other times. They even went on to say that when we're on the other side, that we act as guides on the other side.
And it was very comfortable right from the beginning. I have felt them as family right from the beginning, so that totally made sense. But it's funny because I was coming in for a session, and the gal that was going to come in and do my session, lead my session, didn't show up for some odd reason right that night. So we tried it on our own, and I don't know, figured we could do it. Really, it's kind of how it happened.
Wow. And what is it like working with the great, infamous Barry here?
The brilliant,
mind-blowing Barry.
Well,
can you say that a little louder, please?
So I tell you, Barry has allowed me to just challenge myself, and that's been a really good thing. I mean, that's what I have really appreciated from Barry and Connie both. I don't know. I think Barry is a brilliant character indeed. He's he's a very, very good man, and so is Connie. I think Connie's the wind beneath his wings that people don't realize. Thank you, Donna.
I knew they were going to get around to that.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun just practicing and having the opportunity to challenge myself. You can do it, and you're learning to trust it. But in order to really trust it, you have to practice it, and that's what it's given me the opportunity. That, and like I said, through work, it's just really interesting how when I work with clients, it just starts to roll. But that's been way before the board, and so that's kind of been this transitional interest. I saw it happening through my work, and then the board came about. So that's what Barry's saying. Sometimes it's kind of written in our journey, and we just have to let it play out.
Awesome. Again, Connie, I just think your energy is just so loving. It's almost like Mother Teresa to me. Your energy is.
Sandy, my jaw just dropped because we had a session here one evening with another medium.
Yeah. And
she said to me, Connie, were you raised Catholic? And I said, no, but I was raised Lutheran, which is pretty close.
Right.
And she said, well, Mother Teresa is here, and she wants you to know that she's one of your guides. And I said, that's amazing because I'm not Catholic. And she said, Mother Teresa just told me that you don't have to have a rosary beads to say your prayer. That's an earthly rule. Mm-hmm. So do you have time for a quick story about her?
I do.
I went online to do some research. I mean, I knew that she was a wonderful woman and that she was a nun. I found out that her given name was Agnes. And about a week later, I went to Florida to go to a concert with my daughter. That's how we bond. And I got up the first morning, didn't bother making the bed, went downstairs and had breakfast, and then I went back up to shower and get dressed. And right in the center of the sheets, 2 bobby pins, the ones, the thinner kind that you use for like a French twist, and one was a regular one.
Wow.
And they were laid in the shape of an A for Agnes. And the last time I went down there, I got into the change portion of my purse, and there were those 2 bobby pins. I had taken them off the bed and put them back on the nightstand, and somehow they ended up in my purse.
Wow.
So that's really amazing that you would bring up Mother Teresa. I guess she's having a good effect on me.
But your energy is just like, like that all-encompassing. I mean, you're sharing. You have a big heart, and you're sharing all the time. And I feel that, and it feels like, like somebody can go to you, and you're like almost like the Mother Teresa type of person that wants to help everybody that comes down your path.
I thank you for your compliment, and I do like helping people. That's my favorite thing to do.
Aw. So, Barry, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, and if they wanted to do a channeling session, a private session with you guys, and all that stuff.
Well, the best way to get in touch is through our website, spiritspredict.com. It's spiritspredict.com. I have a newsletter, a pre-newsletter that I mail out. People can sign up for it with no obligation. I have a page in there where we tell about Bodhi's back, tells in detail the story of all our channeling sessions with him, the messages we got from him. There's a page on board channeling on there. All my books are on Amazon. You can search my name, Barry Strohm, Strohm as in Mary. They'll all pop up. My new book will be coming out in the beginning of the year, and I'm hoping to write a few more. Right now I'm working on the next alien book, which is what this Universal God chapter came out of. We also have a chapter in that book on universal reincarnation. So there's going to be a lot of really interesting stuff covered in that. That one's a ways off yet. And I've also started writing a book on animal souls. I have a whole bunch of times that we have actually channeled with the animals, and a lot of it is really quite humorous, the answers we get out of them. So hopefully, if my health holds, we'll hang in there. The guides have told me I'm supposed to write 8 more books, and I'm going to be 74 tomorrow, so I'm not sure how that works, but I do plan to write the last book real slowly, because that might be the end of it. And
well, happy birthday for tomorrow.
So life is good. You know, we love it. Connie and I have been married 51 years. Donna's a great friend, and she's a great talent, and she advances every time we get together, and I just love to see it.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to sing happy birthday to you. I'm not a good singer, but I'm going to sing it to you because I want to be the first one, okay? Nobody else has done this yet, right?
Not yet. You may be the last, too.
Don't do that. That's bad. You're bad. You need a spanking for that. Spank it for me, Connie. He needs a spanking. I'm going to do it. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barry. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Amen.
So you're 94.
104.
104, there we go. Yeah, I worked it right.
I'm starting to think about that, not reincarnating again. So.
Aw, see, you're being mean.
That was very sweet, Sandy. I thank you so much for it.
Okay, so you guys listening, if you want to get in touch with Barry Strohm, all you have to do is go to our guest page on raisingvibrationsradio.com and go look at our guests and scroll down, and you'll see a picture of Barry there. You click under his name, it'll take you right to his website, spiritsdirect.com.
Spirits Predict?
Yes. I'm right here. Predict, yes. Right?
Bingo.
I got it here.
I know that song took a lot out of you, so we'll forgive you.
So you can go and click on the link there. It'll take you right to the page and sign up for that newsletter. And also, we always post anything that Barry sends my way on our Raising Vibrations Facebook page. And you have a Facebook page too, right? A public one?
Yeah, just put my name in on the search and come on in and send me a friend request, and you'll find out what I'm doing, for better or for worse.
All right. So we're going to end the show now. I want to thank you guys personally, Donna, Connie, Barry, so much for spending your time and your energy with us tonight and sharing your love with us. It really means the world to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And thank you guys for listening. You guys have a wonderful evening. And this will be posted really soon for you guys to share with your friends. And we'll see you again next Monday night. Good night, everyone. Bye now.